When Denzel Washington spoke about Chadwick Boseman, it wasn't just another tribute. It was something deeply personal. His words carried emotion, respect, and a quiet admiration that resonated with millions. He described Chadwick not only as a remarkable actor, but as a man of strength, purpose, and grace. What stood out most was the sincerity in his voice, as if he was sharing something the world had only begun to understand. In that moment, it became clear that Chadwick's life had layers far beyond what audiences saw on screen. The admiration between the two wasn't just professional, it was rooted in mentorship and belief. Washington's reflection reminded people that sometimes the greatest legacies are not just built through fame, but through the lives quietly uplifted along the way. Humble beginnings in South Carolina. Long before global fame, Chadwick Boseman's story began in the quiet town of Anderson, South Carolina. Born on November 29, 1976, he was raised in a home grounded in love, discipline, and strong values. His mother, Carolyn, worked as a nurse, while his father, Leroy, balanced multiple responsibilities to support the family. As the youngest of three brothers, Chadwick grew up surrounded by encouragement and guidance. His home environment was rich with learning, filled with books about history, culture, and influential leaders. These stories weren't just educational, they shaped how he saw the world. From an early age, he developed a deep respect for identity, heritage, and storytelling. It wasn't about fame or recognition back then. It was about understanding people and their journeys, something that would later define his work. Early influences and creative spark. Chadwick's childhood was a blend of creativity and curiosity. He explored art through drawing and sculpting, while also enjoying sports like basketball. But what truly captured his imagination was storytelling. Watching his older brother perform on stage sparked something powerful within him. It showed him how stories could move people, inspire emotions, and bring communities together. A major influence during his early years was reading the autobiography of Malcolm X. That experience opened his eyes to deeper social realities and planted the seeds of purpose in his mind. He began to see storytelling not just as entertainment, but as a tool for change. This realization stayed with him, shaping the kind of artist he would eventually become, one who didn't just perform, but conveyed meaning through every role. Finding his voice. Through storytelling, as a teenager, Chadwick began turning his thoughts into creative expression. A defining moment came when he wrote a play after losing a close friend. That experience wasn't just about grief. It became a turning point in understanding how art could process emotions and tell important stories. His passion led him to Howard University, where he studied directing and further developed his craft. Under the mentorship of Felicia Rashad, he learned the importance of authenticity in storytelling. During this time, an opportunity arose to study abroad, but financial challenges stood in the way. Quietly and generously, Denzel Washington stepped in to support him. That act of belief didn't just change Chadwick's path. It reinforced the idea that lifting others is one of the greatest gifts anyone can offer. The cultural impact of Black Panther. Everything changed when Chadwick stepped into the role of T'Challa in Black Panther. This wasn't just a superhero role, it was a cultural milestone. Set in the fictional nation of Wakanda, the film celebrated African heritage in a way rarely seen in mainstream cinema. Chadwick brought dignity, strength, and depth to the character, making T'Challa more than just a hero. He became a symbol. His decision to use an authentic African accent added realism and respect to the role. The film's success was massive, but its true impact went beyond box office numbers. It inspired people around the world, especially young audiences who finally saw themselves represented as leaders and heroes. Chadwick understood this responsibility and carried it with pride, knowing the role meant something far greater than entertainment. A life lived with purpose. Despite his rising fame, Chadwick remained grounded and private. He valued his personal life and kept it away from the spotlight, including his relationship with Taylor Simone Ledward. Beyond acting, he was deeply committed to giving back. He supported education, healthcare initiatives, and young artists trying to find their path. His generosity wasn't loud or attention-seeking. It was intentional and meaningful. He understood the importance of opportunity because he had once needed it himself. Whether mentoring others or supporting community causes, he consistently used his platform for good. To those who knew him personally, these actions spoke louder than any role he played. He wasn't just building a career, he was building a legacy rooted in compassion and responsibility. Strength in the face of adversity. In 2016, Chadwick was diagnosed with colon cancer, a battle he chose to keep private. Even as he faced treatments and physical challenges, he continued working on films that would define his legacy. Performances in Marshall and Ma Rainey's Black Bottom showed no sign of the struggle he was enduring behind the scenes. His decision to keep his illness private wasn't about secrecy. It was about focus. He didn't want sympathy. He wanted his work to speak for itself. Colleagues admired his professionalism, often unaware of the strength it took for him to keep going. When news of his passing in 2020 broke, the world was shocked, not just by the loss, but by the quiet courage he had shown throughout his journey. A legacy that lives. And Chadwick Boseman's legacy goes far beyond his films. He changed how stories are told and who gets to be at the center of them. His work continues to inspire artists, audiences, and communities around the world. Through characters like T'Challa, he gave people a sense of pride, identity, and possibility. Denzel Washington's tribute captured this perfectly, not just honoring his talent, but recognizing his strength as a human being. Chadwick showed that true greatness isn't just about success, but about purpose, resilience, and impact. His life reminds us that even in the face of challenges, it's possible to uplift others and leave something meaningful behind. He may be gone, but his influence continues to echo, inspiring future generations to dream bigger and live with intention.